And welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. And with me this evening, we have IWAR Commissioner, BRL Commissioner Matt Riley, NWL Commissioner Aaron, and myself, the IWL Commissioner. Hope everyone can hear me okay. I know we had some audio difficulties in the last couple of shows, but hopefully that's been resolved. So let's test it. Well, I want to unmute you now. So we'll try it right now. See if you say something, Matt.
Yeah, Alex.
There we go. I think we're all on board. Unless Darren's going to lie to us again and tell us there's an echo when there's not.
I think Darren's an audiophile, so he has high standards.
Oh, he wants FLAC files. I see. Okay, that's good. You know, I collect music as well as a lot of other things, and I go straight with FLAC files. So it's lossless because MP3s, they're all compressed. I think we talked about this before, that like any kind of streaming service, so like Spotify or Pandora, they compress their MP3 files like heavy. So they put them through a good sound system, like a Sonos or a Bose. They sound slightly distorted. So you definitely, if you want to purchase any kind of audio, you should look to get FLAC files because those are straight from, CD quality sound. Now CDs are the best sounding audio format, period, bar none. There's no two ways about that. Just the reality of the situation, especially when you're talking about like 3200 kilobits per second or whatever it's called. But so if you want to get a sound system, you can come over to the Big Blue Box and we'll hook you up.
Or use the Amazon affiliate link
as well. You should buy all your stuff through the Amazon affiliate link, so you can get 15 cents when you purchase the Love Glove.
Alex can only get so far on selling his empty bottles of Coors Light back to the liquor store. So
that's right. It's a 5-cent deposit, 10-cent in California.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I drink Coors Light, is because of Smokey and the Bandit, because they're bootlegging Coors to Texarkana.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and also because Coors Light is it's basically like drinking water. And I may or may not have an alcohol drinking problem in the early 2000s. So Coors Light is a nice alternative if I just want to be sipping on something for like an entire day. So that's what I drink. Although I don't mind Coors Banquet. That's actually pretty good.
Coors Banquet.
For those of you who watch Cobra Kai, which is the greatest show on television, by the way. So I recommend everyone getting a Netflix subscription or, sail the seas like I do and watch Cobra Kai.
Can you get Netflix through the Amazon affiliate link?
No, but if you're interested in getting like German Netflix, you can get a VPN and watch German Netflix if you like. My wife watches all these weird weird shows. Like they're poorly dubbed. It's nice. Awful. It's awful. She watches all this weird stuff. Like, what are you watching? It's like, it's Knights. I'm like, they're speaking English, but it's clearly dubbed. It's like almost as bad as like kung fu flicks from the early '80s. It's really bad.
There is a fantastic thread. I don't know if I sent it to you guys or not, but it was the one I think I did. But it was on Twitter, and it was someone was like, cancel. Oh God damn it, Tyler Perry. And it was some movie he had directed, and like there's a fight scene.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he punched the dude, and he does like a full triple spin and goes down.
Motherfucker was selling like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, have you guys seen those movies like Dolomite or?
Oh my God!
Kind of remind me of that, or The Good Guy in Harlem.
Now my favorite is really Dynamite. That's my favorite. It's one of my top 10 films of all time. As the guy from fucking Sesame Street, as a pimp, it's awesome. That and Truck Turner is a good one with Isaac Hayes. It has Uhura from Star Trek's in it, and she's a female pimp, and it's awesome.
The best part of Dolomite is that they show him like get like all dressed up as he's getting out of prison, and he gets out of prison, walks into the limo, and there's all these girls in there, and he gets undressed and all.
I figure if I was leaving prison, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah. A quick that thread though, I'll try to send it to these guys, but further down was the Nigerian, or I think it was Nigerian.
The prince who was trying to get you to smuggle out $10 million from his country.
No, it's like Nollywood they call it because it's Nigerian Hollywood,
Yes.
and it literally is a toy helicopter that they keep showing like moving fast to like kind of give you the idea that it's an actual helicopter.
Nice.
And then they show like three people sitting on a couch like walking back like, oh my god, we're getting shot at. I love terrible. It's like Bollywood.
You ever seen Turkish Star Wars?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh. Well, I want to welcome everyone to the show and remind them that we are your source for IWAR related material, discussion and terrible off-topic subjects. So
It's true. It's true.
And blaxploitation films.
yes,
They're so good. They're so good.
So I think some of you know the reason I was late. I'm doing a play, and
Yes, Matt is doing the musical rendition of Debbie Does Dallas. So,
no, it's a play called Arcadia, and I play a philandering sea captain who is having an affair with his poet, his wife, right? And I then find out that another guy in the cast slept with the wife, so I'm trying to get the husband to then have a duel with the other dude and kill them off, and that's my thing.
Is this your life story, Matt? I don't understand. Did you write this thing?
Sir. I had a director in college who kept casting me as rapists, murderers, and like bad guys.
Well,
and there was one woman, this girl Danielle. We kept getting cast together, and like two of the scenes we did together, I was her abusive corrections officer,
yeah.
and then another one was a rapist.
Was this Caged Heat? I don't understand.
No, is this college theater? Anyways,
You were pigeonholed.
so tonight we had a Steve Austin moment. Now, mind you, it's in Massachusetts. It's at this fancy, like, it's a historic site. It's a mansion that was owned by this wealthy family, and the Crane Estate's like well known, whatever. So we're in the ballroom. So it's limited seating. It's 60 people. There's people wearing masks, and they're all vaccinated. And every so often you get one of those totally fine.
Yeah.
So there's an old man to like dead center right, and he's right. There's only 2 rows, so it's like you can't not see them. He coughed a couple times, so whatever. So one of the guys, Will, his scene, he's Valentine. He has this big speech. As he's talking, the guy's like you're gonna fall over and die. And he kept going, and then he stopped, and I'm like, oh, and then so he was no longer there for the second act. And I was joking with Will, like, he's gonna be dead in the bushes, isn't he? Like, he took him outside and killed him.
Maybe he was having some bad bong tokes while you were performing.
Maybe, but it was funny because I have a bag of like Hall's cough drops because I use them to make sure my sinuses and my throat is clear before a show. And I'm like, I'll go get that guy and shove him down his throat. Like it was like borderline secret camera. It's gonna be a hidden camera. This can't be real. It was that awful. So I don't have an agent, by the way. But the good news is because I'm doing the show and they're paying us. Equity is like the Screen Actors Guild, but for theater actors. And
You get insurance?
Oh yeah. If you get qualified, you qualify for all kinds of stuff. But like you get depending on your contracts. But I'm going to simplify it. Basically, I could possibly get in because what they're doing now, because of COVID, they lost a lot of members because people weren't working and they did other jobs. They left the industry. So they're trying to rebuild their ranks and their union. So if you've been paid to do a performance, you can apply. And so I'm going to get paid for this, so I can turn around and try to apply. Now, what does that mean? That means I can then go to Boston and audition for plays in Boston if I'm part of Equity. So not saying it's a guarantee to get like,
I'm just saying, just make sure you claim your 75 cents for doing the IWAR Tubecast.
I know, I might need a contract.
Matt's going to start charging me scale soon. It's going to be ridiculous.
That's right. I need the green M&Ms.
You're right now. You're that bright-eyed thespian we all knew you'd become.
No, I haven't done acting on stage in like 12 years.
Now, Matt, make sure when you do those audition tapes that they don't get leaked online, because I see plenty of videos online with audition tapes. Yeah. So be careful about that.
So then the second part of this is that I was really hungry, and the only place around here that's open late really late to get it, is a Domino's. So I used the Domino's app, and I ordered a thin crust pizza. And I don't like too much sauce. I got heartburn, so I ordered light sauce. I literally got a cracker, like a baked giant cracker. There's no sauce. There was beef and some chicken in there as well. but it's just like a gigantic cracker. It's hysterical, and I ate some of it, but it was just like, man, that's just terrible. So, lesson learned.
Yes, Jimmy, I was on the original Taxi Cab Confessions. Matt's a veteran of Bang Bus, by the way, so Matt's a big fan of Bang Bus.
I thought this was Taxi Cab Confessions.
I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but there's stickers getting put around places like there's ones with Biden saying I did that, and there's ones with Trump saying like I did that, whatever. So speaking of Bang Bus, I want to get a sticker that says my other car is the Bang Bus. And just put it on people's car randomly.
That's good.
You kids listening, don't look that up. Don't Google that.
Yes, Luke, do not Google.
Luke's in Ukraine right now.
Luke is currently in the Ukraine.
He's training Ukrainians how to kill people.
Yeah.
Not that you don't really know how to do it anyways.
He took all of our Russian bots with him that usually listen to our show.
Yeah, so like
all the Russian bots are gone.
My views have been way down because, for those who don't know, the IWAR network is huge in the former Soviet Union, and since I guess they're no longer getting YouTube over there right now.
Yeah, they don't get WWE 2K, so they have to settle for the IWA in Russia.
Can you imagine? My friend, I'm a big fan. Who you like? Backstabber. He's number one. Yes, good guy. Yes, good. Of course you like the Backstabber. I will say though, I'm seriously waiting for like our leagues to get flooded with like the Russian Nightmare, Yuri. Actually, this name did not get by that by censors. I got it through for like 2 cycles, but it was the monstrous Yuri Nation. And I had him in the UNL for a while. I brought him back. They let it go that time, but that was the name.
Well, I guess a real world wrestling. Where is Miro from? Bulgaria?
Miro?
Is he from Bulgaria?
Bulgaria, right?
Bulgaria, yeah.
Where's Nikita Koloff when we need him?
Is he hurt right now?
I don't know what he's doing. He's re-signed, so he re-signed.
Yeah, he got hurt, but he wasn't like. I didn't think he's dead, but
I think he got a hamstring injury. I think those can be pretty nasty.
I do want to say
I wouldn't mind seeing Ilana back on TV again.
Yes. Best wishes to friend of the show, Big E.
Yeah.
Who broke his neck and amazingly didn't need surgery because he's so insanely jacked. He survived a broken neck.
I can see Big E playing IWA back in the day.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I think Xavier Woods.
He might write Backstabber.
But this show tonight is action packed. And we have. Do you want to do the breaking news stuff now, later?
Let's start with the Johnny B stuff because the Johnny B stuff is always interesting.
Johnny B stuff. So,
for those who don't know, because we do have some new people who are watching,
right.
Johnny B is the owner and operator of the IWA. It's actually Johnny B Jr., who is now taking over for his father, and he watches the show all the time. He is a big fan, which is weird, but it's not weird. But he quotes us on an occasion.
He knows some pretty intricate details about the Tubecast.
He does. I remember back on the show 119, you said this, and it's awesome.
I think I wonder if he's like, remember what was the movie where
takes notes?
What was the movie? Was it Billy Madison where Steve Buscemi's the guy with a list of names?
Yeah.
And like it's like Johnny B's got a list of like our discretions and things we've done wrong. And he's like, that time Aaron said this. Looks like you doubled the hold this time, buddy.
Vladimir Putin, awesome.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty good one.
It's the ultimate heel. It's a mix of a Russian and a Canadian.
I know exactly what he does too. He comes out and he's a wicked heel, then he's apologizing.
Sorry,
I hit him with that chair. Sorry.
I'll kill you with kindness.
This is writing itself. I'm just saying,
I think Darren's taking notes on this new character.
So guys, so since Johnny B religiously listens to the show, we've been in correspondence with him for a while now. And we can ask him questions, and he will get back to us and answer those questions. And he can definitely leave some some comments as well. Yes, Darren, all 70s Russian wrestlers were Canadian. Thank you, Ivan Koloff.
Yes. Zhenosta. So yes, these are Johnny B's real questions from us and Johnny's real answers. Jeff asked, is it possible to visit the IWA offices? Thanks, Domino's.
That's quite
Johnny B replied, you may recall Matt describing what became of the last player to drop by our corporate offices.
Murder.
Headquarters. And ripped from the headlines. And sadly, we have run out of room in the company freezer. Oh, look at that. So we have to decline. Also, we prefer to avoid these rise in IWA conspiracy theories should you happen to win a major title shortly after your trip to our little corner of the globe. Finally, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, the one in the alligator shoes. When Matt passes through Willowick on his upcoming pilgrimage, perhaps he can update viewers on the condition of our infamous scary bathroom. That was true. When I stopped at Willowick, I went to this gas station to use the bathroom, and it was horrific.
To get pills, obviously.
to get the dick pills, yeah. I just hope he will do me the following two favors. One, realize that he has become fond of purchasing turkey sandwiches from gas stations. That's true. Possibly along with other items. Pause for Alex's remark. There we go. I ask that you refrain from doing so at that particular establishment, as items in question sold at that location may have contributing factors to the scary state of the facilities. And two, while performing his inspection of said facilities, I request he kindly leave his World Championship belt in the hygienic safety of the rental car. After all, he mentioned how difficult they are to clean on an episode of the Riley Matthews Show radio in 2011. And I don't plan on gifting another one of these after 8 years. I can't get another gift world title. That's a bummer. Alex, do you have that soundbite?
I did. Hold on. So it was dirty. Did you Xavier Woods the belt?
No, but that's that's actually a bunch of my friends. This is one of the fun things about wrestling, when friends find out that like the wrestlers have done terrible things and have been recorded, like Paige and her little escapades, which I don't think is terrible. I think it's fantastic.
I thought it was great. She did a great job.
Then they were like, really? I'm like, yeah. No way. I'm like, yeah. Like, no. I'm like, yes. But yes, I'm going to Indianapolis this summer, and I'm going to try to track down.
Are you going to the Hoosier Dome for WrestleMania 8?
What?
Are you going to the Hoosier Dome?
Matt's
in Indianapolis?
No.
Oh.
It's Gen Con.
Oh.
Gen Con, the Nerd Festival. So.
What a dork.
Let's see here. No one asked. Here's a question Johnny asked himself as you find your audio.
Yeah.
Do you have any IWA trivia to share that may be connected to previous Tubecasts? Perhaps something involving Gregory Shane Helms. So, the IWA's first webmaster was one of my many brothers. He was staying with friends in New York City, but needed to find a job to continue living there. One night, he and his friends went to a bar, spent a few hours hanging out with a man who was working in IT. He had been wishing to be free to pursue a career in entertainment for a while, but his employer was insisting he line up a replacement first. My brother agreed to take over his job, and the man who wanted to become a household name, he wasn't Shane Helms, but he was award-winning actor Ed Helms. No, Ed Helms, the comedian, I assume. Yeah, Ed Helms.
I wear that on dates.
Hangover. I was reminded of this anecdote when Matt mentioned the movie The Hangover on the previous episode. The same brother was also friends with the man who snapped a photo of his windshield on a rainy day and received a very tidy sum from Apple when it was used as the default wallpaper on iPhone 4. If you'd only taken a page of the IWA Commissioner's Playbook and photoshopped an Easter egg onto it. There you go.
All right, here's your audio, Matt. Here you go.
I wear that on dates. I wear it at the club.
Yeah.
Yo,
It's just lipstick all over it at the end of the night.
It's hard to clean, I'll tell you. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
IWA belt's tough.
Drag queens wear a lot of lipstick.
Hey, let's keep
You
that
hear
on the show.
No.
I was young. I needed the money.
I can do this.
I wear that
Hold
on dates.
I
I wear it at the
should.
club.
can make it happen.
There you go. What year was that clip from?
Alex, nothing came through.
Bullshit.
No, I'm not even kidding.
It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, we were like, oh, great. And then it was just,
Nothing came through for real?
yeah, like for real.
All right. I'm going to work on it.
It's all this build up for like this one terrible.
I think they heard it. I think everyone else heard it except for you. So you don't need to hear it.
Okay.
I'll listen on the replay.
Yeah, they heard it. You didn't hear it because I don't think you'd hear my desktop audio.
Let's take all over it at the end of the night.
Yeah. That was my old producer.
So how many dates did you go on with that belt?
You know, it's actually funny. I've had some female friends who have been like, "Hey, let's some fun photos with that," and I'm like, "All right," and then we never get around to it.
Oh.
So it's like I really pushed that. Like
I was hoping for the Matt Rowley calendar.
like was it Shawn Michaels opposed to the belt? And
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So that was all the questions this time. Or I know we have more questions during the show, of course.
Well, yeah. I guess my first question for Johnny B is like, who would you put in your IWA Employee Hall of Fame? Get some recognition out for some of these folks.
Okay, I have a question. Have you? All right, let's back up. Say, have you ever purchased a wrestler's T-shirt, and which one was it, and why was it Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster? No, I'm curious if they were wrestling fans, like if they had like paraphernalia or like certain wrestlers they were big fans of, or they went to shows.
That's what I'm curious about. I wonder if it was the last time Johnny B went to a show. I feel like he was. I figure he was at Survivor Series '87, which was in the Richfield Coliseum.
Of course. Also, how much therapy does Kim have to have because of all the crap she deals with from the players?
I feel so bad. For her.
Yep.
So, guys, if you have any questions for good old JB, just shout about in the chat, and we'll read them, and he'll answer them.
There it is.
There it is.
All right.
I should probably get a soundboard at some point.
We need that. It's just a big truth right there.
Well, if you guys make sure to use your Amazon affiliate link and use your super chats, maybe I can purchase a soundboard.
The IRS pay well, I hope.
I hope so. All right, so I guess we're going to start with this is our TT Tubecast for those of you who don't know. So we're reviewing all the TT this cycle, and we're going to start off with the NWL. So Aaron, what's going down in the NWL?
Lots of exciting stuff happening in the NWL. I mean, I've talked about it over a few shows. We had this good group of players throughout 2021. Some of them are starting to trickle out of the NWL into the IWL and BRL, proliferating throughout the IWAR network, which is really cool to see. And in their place, we're going to have, what seems like a solid group for 2022 as well. So, I mean, I think you guys covered the title page last time, but I just want to give a shout out to the industry because they cleaned up last cycle. I always give a shout out to the Grady family, the Whoop Ass Inc., because those guys were kind of the stalwarts of the NWL for 2021. As sad as I am to see them go, I know they're going to be moving on to bigger and better things in the IWAR, so I look forward to that. As for the NWL, we're going to start off the trash talks with a wrestler who I hope is going to lead to a resurgence in the NWL women's division. I think we might touch on the IWAR wide women's division later in the show. But in the NWL, we've had quite a few departures of women's wrestlers, leading to the currently vacant Lioness title. We're going to have a big match at the next Clash of Champions to try and crown a new NWL Lioness champion. If you want to enter a female wrestler into the NWL, now is a good time to do it. I think there's going to be a big showdown at that next pay-per-view to crown the new women's champion. One of those participants is going to be the Wicked Spider, Erica Phobia. She's a female wrestler from Austria, and she's kind of coming out looking to challenge hopefully some new women's wrestlers that are going to pop up in the NWL. Up next, we've got an NWL medical report, which I think talking about Mark Justice. Mark Justice had a hellacious time at the Futurescape 3 pay-per-view. He had an Aztec death match with Johnny Aztec. And then he had to go into a scaffold match where he teamed up with the Grady family against Society of Salvation, Mike Dynasty, Prophet, and Requiem. In this medical report, he basically makes it to the backstage and then he collapses. But it seems like Mark Justice is going to be okay, but we'll have to see if we get any further updates on the status of his injury. Then up next, we've got Dark Danger, another up-and-comer in the NWL. I think he's going to possibly be one of the top stars of this year, along with the Father Arturo Bartolo. Father Arturo, I think, is going to be developing a bit of a stable coming up. So he has one of his new henchmen come and interfere in a match with Dark Danger, and he throws some holy water into Dark Danger's face, and then that allows Father Arturo to get the win. Father Arturo and his new stablemate, Father Conrad, are going to hopefully they're looking to lead the NWL to some more a more positive path, I guess, up to salvation. Up next, we've got Honor Revolt, Nick Dane, Wolf Keenan, and Lachlan Kincaid, another trio that have been pretty solid in the NWL. Some of their current rivals are going to be moving on to the BRL or the IWL. So it looks like they're taking aim at Zanroar and Death Row of the Death Squad stable. So we'll have to see how that shakes down. Nick Dane's going to be challenging once again for a #1 contendership to the Young Lions title coming up. Then we've got Johnny Aztec with his El Templo Tolteca segment. Him and Mark Justice, I think, kind of just wrapped up a big feud with the Aztec death match. Johnny Aztec is going to be taking aim at Glenn Cavendish, it sounds like, for his next feud. And then always there's other stars in the mix that Johnny Aztec is taking aim at, such as the Gradys. Now a promo from Dark Danger. He's a masked character, and he's kind of found himself gunning for the NWL X1 Championship. He's taking aim at Ro Grady here, looking to get an X1 division title shot. And then we've got a TT from the Devil's Rejects, who this stable I'm pretty curious about. I received an email from the manager of the Devil's Rejects. They have a female wrestler that's going to get into the mix named Sinister Moon. I feel like I haven't seen an actual trash talk, as in like a promo from this stable, for quite a while. It's usually like, mysterious images with some metaphors or some other words, but this is an actual promo that they drop in this one, which is pretty cool to see. They want to be involved in the All Rookie Cup, and they want to get in on whatever NWL action they can get in on from here on out. Up next, we have California Gunslinger, as well as the Gun Collection, which includes California Gunslinger's sister, Area Gunpowder, and his brother, the Shotgun Kid. They're all heading off to the IWL, so this, I believe, was their last cycle in the NWL. So once again, the NWL's loss is going to be the IWL's gain, because
it is.
The Gun Collection, they've been pretty solid throughout 2021. And I think they're going to continue on with that in the IWL in 2022. California Gunslinger and Area Gunpowder are kind of sad to be leaving the NWL, but Kid, who's a little bit, I think he's the edgy one in the group, he says he doesn't give a shit about the NWL and that he's ready for fame and glory in the IWL, which is going to be pretty cool to see. And then we've got Sheepdog Ro Grady. He's kind of Ro Grady, who of course is the younger brother of NWL Young Lions champion Rhett Grady. He's tired of being in Rhett's shadow, So he's had a bit more of an edge to him lately as well. He's been challenging for the X1 title. At the recent Futurescape pay-per-view, the X1 Championship #1 contenders match ended sort of in a draw between Ro Grady and Fabulous Harry Hurt. After the match, Ro Grady takes his anger out on NWL referee Willie Pinham. Basically beats the snot out of Willie Pinham, much to NWL Commissioner Johnny B's chagrin. Johnny B bars. He wants to bar Ro from any more title shots, but then he says, you know what? On second thought, since you like violence so much, I'm going to put you in a first blood match at the next Clash pay-per-view, which I think is going to be pretty cool to see. Another up-and-comer in the NWL, we have Oliver Livingston, who is your everyday hero. He tries to cut promos in between, like stopping bank heists and robbery. And he's saving old ladies from having their purses snatched. Meanwhile, Dapper Dan D is trying to, sneak in some questions, which, is pretty hard to do, but I think Oliver pulls it off pretty nicely. He's going to be entering the 2022 All-Rookie Cup, and he's going to be taking aim at two of our up-and-coming heels in the NWL, Father Arturo Bartolo and a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling. So I'm pretty excited to see, what comes up for Oliver Livingston in the near future. I'm just reading a couple messages from the chat. Darren says that the IWL is currently full. Is that true, Alex?
The shitter is full. No, it's kidding. No, we can use. I think I need at least another 25 players.
Another 25? Well,
at least. There's
a 6-player limit in the BRL and IWL.
That is correct.
Yep.
6 wrestler limit. So
I think Darren's got 15 wrestlers in the IWL already. So I mean. You might want to send him an email about that.
They all got split personalities. It's okay. It's like Mick Foley.
So then, up next we have the NWL Young Lions champion, Country Hammer, Rhett Grady. Consistently some of the best trash talk that we've seen in the NWL. He's going to be heading off to the BRL, I think, around May. But he's been one of the top stars in the NWL all year. He's sitting in this promo. He's sitting in a ring that he bought from Don King.
Yes.
So I mean, Don King's always looking to make a few extra bucks for the IWL. Rhett bought this ring when he was facing Stevie Vertigo in the Grady Ranch match. So I mean, he's sitting in this blood-stained IWL ring. He's got the Young Lions championship with him. He's kind of recounting victories over the likes of U.S. Mail, Stevie Vertigo, and Mike Dynasty, as well as Lone Star Redneck. He's going to be facing Rod Camino and Mark Justice at the Clash of Champions pay-per-view for the Young Lions Championship. And he's basically laying it down. There's different beefs going on, whether it be Father Arturo. Everyone's going to be gunning for the Young Lions Championship. And, of course, I think in the back of his mind, Rhett's thinking about his brother, Ro, who really seems to be going against the grain. Rhett Grady's he's pretty much our top face character in the NWL right now, but Ro Grady, seems to be heading more towards the heel side at the moment. So, that's probably weighing on Ro a little bit, but we'll have to see how things play out as we head towards the Clash pay-per-view. Up next, another solid TT from a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling. Between Caesar Sterling, this is only a second cycle in the NWL, but he's basically painting. I just think these TTs have been really well done because I don't know how often I see a trash talk where I literally hate the character that I'm reading about. So, I think that's one sign of a really well done TT is when you get so engrossed in the character that you actually start to dislike him. And if you're a fan at a show, you could picture getting really involved or throwing something at this wrestler as he enters the ring. So I think he's achieving what he's setting out to achieve in this TT. And I just want to go back to Rhett Grady for a moment. On the flip side of that coin, I think Rhett does a really good job of painting himself as a face character and, makes himself really likable. So it's really cool to see these kinds of TTs coming through in the NWL. And then we keep an eye on these guys. And, later on down the road, hopefully they're going to be going on to the BRL or the IWL. And, it'll be interesting to see how Caesar Sterling evolves. He keeps calling his butler Pedro, even though his butler clearly tells him that his name isn't Pedro. So, there's things like that. And then he's got a girl by his pool side, and he basically says, Caesar Sterling is the star. If you were in a movie, you would be like girl by the pool number 7. And the girl kind of gets mad at that and storms off. But Caesar doesn't care because I think he's got the ladies lined up around the block at the moment, especially with him achieving some NWL success at the moment. Up next, another female wrestler entering the fray in the NWL, the Angel of Light, Angelina Blanco. So, already I think I've mentioned 3 new female characters, coming up through the NWL ranks, which is really cool to see. Angelina Blanco is a Spanish wrestler. She's trained in Japan and Mexico, and she's going to be gunning for the Lioness title. She holds up the likes of Area Gunpowder and Veruca Salt as kind of the bar she's trying to achieve in the NWL, which, hopefully she can come through because that's a pretty high bar to set. But, a character like that, I think she's going to come through. Then we've got Whoop Ass Inc., another solid team. Mick Ferrari, 3-time NWL League champion, heading off to the BRL soon. And I think he's already, causing a bit of chaos in the BRL, which is cool to see.
Jerk.
Solid player. It's always interesting to see for myself anyways so far. I haven't struck any gold in the BRL transitioning from the NWL, but I've seen stables like the Gene Co faction and Zydrate hitting some gold in the BRL. So, these guys are going to keep coming along and hopefully, see some success as time goes on. Kind of interesting. Mick has mostly painted himself as a babyface in the NWL, but in this one, I found it kind of interesting because after the 2021 IWAR awards, I think Mick Ferrari felt a little slighted by not being recognized as NWL Wrestler of the Year, which went to Rhett Grady. So in this promo, Mick kind of, turns on his typical babyface persona. He attacks Rhett Grady in the back, smashes him into a vending machine, slicing him open with the glass, giving him a short arm clothesline just to, make his point heard. And then he basically challenges Rhett when Rhett comes to the BRL to kind of, show me what you're made of if you actually think you're the star of the year. So there's going to be a few scores to be settled, I think, in the BRL in 2022 based on things that have happened in the NWL. Then we've got Nick Gemini kind of getting into the mix for the X1 title. We've got Shackles Malone, who is spending time serving time in San Quentin Penitentiary, only being let out occasionally to perform in the NWL, which, you got to know some people in high places to make that happen.
Right.
It's pretty cool to see. They've had beef with Honor Revolt and the Ranger Division. They're the current NWL Young Lions Tag Team Champions. Of course, they also have Zanroar in their corner, who I think is trying to make his way up the ranks in the NWL Young Lions Championship Division. We've got the Industry. They're always pumping out great TTs. Of course, Rod Camino, 2 cycles in a row as NWL League Champion, which I haven't seen since I've been back in the league, and he gets 10 free matches for that.
Doesn't deserve it.
Heading to the IWL, so I think the rest of the NWL is saying, the sooner the better, because, everyone's tired of seeing the same champion cycle after cycle. But of course, Rod, being the heel that he is, he's reveling in his success. and I think he's going to try and stay on top as long as he can. He's got a Young Lions championship title shot coming up as well. So, the upwards trajectory is going to just keep going for Rod Camino. Of course, he does his usual hot tub hot takes segment. He claims it's the sexiest segment in the IWAR network, which I think the Backstabber might have something to say about that, because, if the Backstabber isn't the sexiest segment in the IWAR, then it's definitely a close second behind hot tub hot takes.
It definitely gives me a tingle in my pingle. That's for sure.
Dave the Decision Wazalowski, Rod Camino's kind of running mate. He was the NWL TV champion this past cycle. And I think, there's a bit of friction in the industry right now. Dave the Decision might be kind of striking out on his own. He says he's going to return back to the old Dave. Oh. He might get sidetracked chasing the gold and the glory, but deep down, he's a boozing brawler kind of character, so he might be getting back to that. Up next, we've got El Hijo de Teamster, and of course his dad, the Teamster. The Teamster is donning a referee's jersey now. He's tired of the NWL conspiracy to keep his son down. So the Teamster is going to be an enforcer from now on with a referee's jersey, watching over his son. He bought his son a new outfit to wrestle in. His son wanted to be like the Black Tiger or Tiger Mask. The Teamster, being the supportive father that he is, tried to support his son, got him a new costume, except instead of a tiger or a panther, he ends up looking like a panda, which El Hijo de Teamster isn't too happy about. The crowd starts chanting Kung Fu Panda at Hijo de Teamster. And, he already seems like he's a little bit shy of the spotlight. And, I've been maintaining for the past few cycles that he might be better off, not having his dad as a manager. But, we'll have to see how that goes, because the Teamster is a legend in the IWAR. But honestly, I just don't think he's doing his son any favors at the moment. The Teamster Challenge is up to 24 free matches, so don't forget, if you're listening right now, you can team up with Hijo de Teamster. If you win the NWL League Tag Team titles, currently you can win 24 matches, free matches. That might be up, actually, a little.
It's up to 31 now.
Woo!
Yeah, so more people are trying, which is good. We like to see the people, sign up a match with the Hijo de Teamster. And if you win those tag belts, you're gonna land a lot of free matches.
That's right. I mean, 31 free matches is no small amount, I'll tell you that.
That'll last me the entire year.
Nice.
Then we've got one from Baruch Assault, who is the IWAR, was she the IWAR Women's Wrestler of the Year?
Yes.
And she was also the current Penthouse Pet of the Month.
That's right. That's probably her biggest accomplishment at the moment.
Agreed.
And we got Colonel Doom. I think Colonel Doom's going to be heading to the BRL soon to join the Pain and Destruction stable. Then we have, another TT from Sinister Moon from the Devil's Rejects, another female coming up in the NWL, looking to make a name for herself. And then we end with a TT from Mike Dynasty of SOS. Mike has been laid out with COVID-19. He's laying in bed. He's kind of blurry-eyed. He doesn't really know where he is, but he still maintains that he's going to take down the Grady family, and that SOS is still going to have their rise to prominence. I believe they should be heading off to the IWL fairly soon. Another solid TT from Mike Dynasty. And I think that's about it for the NWL for cycle number 180.
All right, man. I dig that. Next up, the Battle Royal League, BRL. So, Matt, what's going down in the BRL?
You jerk. Lots going on in the BRL. As a little reminder here, or a note of news since last time we spoke, I want to announce that the trio of George Duke, Larry Brett, and Nelson Hull. If you go to the IWA sneak peek, you'll see that they won one of the 40 teams that won the IWA six-man championship. So I don't know how many they actually won, but
it should be the peep show, not the
show.
sneak peek.
That's right. So congrats to them, and of course, congrats to Rod Camino for winning the Rookie Brawl again. What's going on in the BRL? Well, there's a lot. I'm doing the write-up for WrestleRama this week because I finally have free time. So I'll let that banged out. People have been asking, who won the Royal Rumble? That's a surprise. The other matches, I can tell, so you guys want to trash talk and write based off the results. Hopefully, I, top of my head, get them right. I have a sheet somewhere with all the results. Let's see here. So, not announced the Royal Rumble winner. That's a surprise. Other matches, the Respect match, R.A. Rude defeated Adam Cash. Zydrate. Let me see here. I know I have the results here somewhere. Hold on. Where's my goddamn clipboard? Goddamn kids moved it again. Ah! Oh, that hurt. Zydrate beat Seth Adams Lee in the biker chain on a pole match. The $1 million challenge match, Agent 26 had suggested they bump this to $1 million challenge from a $100,000 challenge.
Oh.
And guess what? Wisp stunned him. Wisp wins the $1 million challenge. The White Claw Outlaws defeated Samoan Death Grip. The Olympians retained their championship on a technicality because the challengers, who earned the shot, didn't TT.
Oh, it's a damn shame.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta send a promo in. I was pulling for you. Anyways, that's that there. The East West Connection, Jane Red, Matthew Van Slaughter retained the Global Tag Championships over the Mannequins. Gina Colada was beaten by Betty Red. And then there was a whole fracas afterwards. The new North American champion is Brom O'Baron. He won the elimination match to win that championship, was vacated, so he's got it now. So Brom O'Baron, congratulations. The global champion, Punk Rock Mike, was facing the previous 2-year winners of BRL's Wrestler of the Year, and LePage Turner and Jack Ferdinand, and he did the impossible. Turner hit a 496, Jack hit a 497, Mike hit a 498. So the longest reign in global championship history goes on. I think it's 28 cycles now, 29 cycles. Insane. Let me see. Let me go down to my results tab here. There we are. Okay. So the next challenger for the global championship at Matcha Bash is going to be Jim the Anchor Neidhart. He had highest win and won the tiebreaker with R.A. Rude on a trash talk technicality. So R.A. Rude, again, killing me, dude. Go on, Rude. We have a whole new set of matchups coming up the next round. Compare that. Let's see. I'm get down to the trash talk now. But yeah, the write-ups will be happening this week. And a reminder: the winner of the Royal Rumble, the way we do it here is, as the winner, you have a chance at the next 3 pay-per-views to cash in the winning Royal Rumble, sort of a combination Money in the Bank Royal Rumble. What you can do is cash it in for any of the championships to take that title shot, and it becomes a triple threat. So you just basically inject your wrestler into the mix. But only the next 3 pay-per-views, because you can't just hold on indefinitely. All right, so next up we have Dick Jackson, the commissioner, having worked with Hawaiian Heartthrob and saying how he's really proud of him. And to show how much faith he has in him, he's given him the #1 pick in the Royal Rumble. So he's starting the Rumble off to show everyone how good he is and that he can win it. So that's pretty tall order there. And then, of course, LePage Turner calls him out, and that's another part of the show. Some people have asked about some of the way we do the matchups in the global. It's pretty loose. It's more about the competitive nature and just keeping things fun, and less about, super accurate details. I know that sounds frustrating a bit, but it's more just having fun with this. So basically, I think, that's a good matchup. I try to avoid having the same people have the same matches over and over again. So I'll try to be good about that. So that way I get some more new matchups. Let's see here. So reminder that the Triple Crown Challenge in the BRL. So if you win the league, tag, and 6-man, you win this pool. It's up to 305 matches. It's just super impossible to do in the BRL because it's so tough. Let's see here. We have Jax McAllister, who is still going through some kind of change, and he has some sort of arrangement all of a sudden with Effie O'Shaughnessy. So what's going on there? That's some hijinks there, I think, because Effie O'Shaughnessy is a dirty woman. Speaking of dirty women, Gina Colada comes out and she talks big talk about beating Betty Red. They had a pretty heated feud last year, but we know that doesn't happen. And apparently, the reports are that Gina Colada was injured at the pay-per-view. The Americanos come out again and talk about wanting to make a difference and challenging all these teams. But so far, they're a little frustrated. No one's answered their call. So what's going to happen there? We'll find out. Adam Cash talks some smack about Ari Rude and then Assassin Beast Devasto. And a quick side note, I didn't realize this, but Assassin Beast Devasto is in fact the same Devasto who was known as Super Killer Devasto in the BRLs. I think it was in the 90s, 2000s, like back in the day. We get a promo from LePage Turner, who screams and brings out Dick Jackson. He's outraged because LePage Turner, his old rival from the FWA, Kabuki Dragon, is now in the BRL, and they were like super enemies. Like, I can't even say how bad, like they were arch enemies. And Turner kind of breaks the what you would call the fourth wall and talks about his experience as a two-time former FWA champion and his experiences there, and that Kabuki's here now, so he's going to go out and kill him pretty much, and he's really, 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 really mad. So expect that Kabuki Dragon, LePage Turner business to get taken up soon. Next up, we got Monster Truck Tanaka, who's, of course, as always, brandishing his love glove. And he also announces that he's going to take out John of Carnage, who I believe is Johnny Carnage. But he keeps talking about John of Carnage, so expect that to go someplace soon. We have a promo from Big Guns Greg Gunnar, who I should mention too. Monster Truck Tanaka claims to be the leader of Pain and Destruction, which is, of course, Big Guns Greg Gunnar, the Farmers is RX Pain, Monster Truck Tanaka, and soon Colonel Doom from the NWL will be joining. And kind of mentions that Colonel Doom really put the boots to Playboy McFerrari with the feud they had. So could that resume? What's going to happen? He then stops to talk about, Sabretooth and Wolf. Kind of poking the bear a bit. But Big Guns Greg Gunnar, who I've known in his NWL days, his CWL days, he's a very volatile figure who likes to attack people. Lots of sneak attacks. Next up, we get Flashy Jack Ferdinand talking about his big opportunity for the global title, for the IWAR World title. He just lost out to Alexander J. Styles for the Revolution title, so they had a double overtime match. Just talking up his direction and what's coming next, and I'll talk about the IWAR news in a little bit, but a little bit of a spoiler, Flashy Jack had some big success, and it wasn't at WrestleRama.
Oh.
Next up, we get a interview from the Nightmare Johnny Carnage. I was calling Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. God, Cat, shut up. Who's talking about, his career and having to do with Derek Dark, who was his tag partner for a long time. and just him being back in the Johnny B Cup and really excited to be back, and it's great to see one of the old NWL stars coming back after being off the grid for a while. Next up, we got the first family of wrestling, the Jinko. Really great artwork here. And of course, they're talking about Seth Adams and Wisp and building up the match at WrestleRama. So some people have said, like, oh, why do you give the results away? And part of it is because I feel that if you know the results, you're more likely to be able to promo off of them and make the report feel more current. If you're like, oh, when I meet you at WrestleRama, and then WrestleRama's in the show, like in that report, it's kind of deflating. So I'll be sending these results out. Everyone incorporate the results into their things. And when you read the actual matchup and the write-ups, you'll see there's actually some new directions for people to take if they so choose. Pharmacist RX Payne, he comes out and he talks about the Carnival Profits, does not like them at all, and their performance and talking about what they're going to do to take over the BRL, and especially with Colonel Doom joining them, that's going to be a really powerful group. Next up, we got Suburban Health Savages. So they're talking about all the things that are going on, and there are a lot of things because they're a very popular stable. They got lots of enemies. They got the Johnny B Cup, the Murano Memorial, Lethal Lottery. Just busy dudes. And this is a good example. I should mention last cycle, Cujo, a longtime member of the SHS, retired. Although I didn't see him going to the IWA Hall of Fame yet. I'm sure he's going there eventually. And Punk Rock Mike talked about his title shot and title match defense against Jack and LePage Turner. So what's going to be interesting to see is where that feud goes next, because Turner and Mike have been hating each other for like 2 years now. So is that the end of it? What happens next? Is Turner going to be too busy with Kabuki Dragon? And of course, waiting in the wings to challenge Mike for the championship at Imagine Bash is Jim the Anchor Neidhart. Next, we get word from Rodney D'Armond and Bram O'Baron, who is the new North American champion, talking about how they still don't know who really gave them the money to leave Monster Truck Tanaka against the White Claw Outlaws. And then they kind of talk about, stopping by to give a nice, extremely loud fart to Jane Red as she passes by.
She deserves it.
The gift that keeps giving.
That's legit.
Yeah. Speaking of farts, a friend of mine who I often send TikTok videos to, like, whatever I find. So for a while I was on this spree of like really bad, funny fart videos, and she's like, "You're gonna mess up my algorithm. Stop sending me these." It's like, damn you. All right, here's one more, because I am an adult. Let me check our thing or any comments here. Talks about prizes. That's right. Prizes are good. Picking up Stevie Vertigo. He takes time to I always love things like this where there's a nice promo to McFerrari, cutting him down. But I think my favorite part of this promo was when he talked about Cujo. It was like, what a great competitor you were. 7,000 matches, quite an accomplishment. One of my all-time favorites is like good riddance. I always think of one of my favorite wrestling moments ever was the Mark Henry fake retirement speech.
It's so good.
And I will say this, if you guys are I know you're fans of wrestling for the most part, but if you haven't seen this, Google Mark Henry retirement, and you'll probably see a few things. One is if he's wearing a pink, like a salmon blazer, you got to watch it. It's just a masterful performance. Such a good moment. I love swerves like that. So Vertigo here. You want to say what Vertigo's plans are at all? You want to kind of a little hint, or because you're going a lot of directions here with Vertigo.
Yeah, I think Vertigo's he's new to the BRL. He's trying to gain his footing a little bit. So he knows that Mick Ferrari's coming in, and they had a bit of beef in the NWL. But he's also taking aim at money-driven Mike Sebastian from the SHS faction. So I think he's hoping that one of those feuds is going to pick up, in the next couple of cycles. I mean, he throws Cujo. He pulls out a shirt of Cujo. He says that, Cujo is one of his favorites. And then he throws the shirt on the ground. He spits on it and he steps on it. And then Mike Sebastian comes out and they kind of get into a fracas. And then, I think he's hoping that, that feud that'll spark something in the next few cycles.
Sorry, I was taking a pill. Yes. And I gotta take my nighttime pill. By the way, side note for you all to know, some of you guys know I've had various health ailments going on. The plan is to get my knee replaced probably next month, the month after. Fun side effect, I just got a heart thing going on. Back when I had that whole pericarditis episode about 2 years ago, I think I may have scarred my heart from it. So I might have some damage in my heart. So I got to figure that out. And then if I don't have damage in my heart, I'll get my knee replaced. Yay. Anyways, getting back to the non-real world, the Samoans. I won't give anything away. I'll just say I think the Samoans are going to have some new beef with some other teams in the BRL following what happens at WrestleRama. So stay tuned. But
I know in this one, you mentioned before that their current manager is the Teamster who used to manage the Americanos, and in this promo, they pretty much say to the Americanos, anytime you want to fight, you know where to find us. So I'm kind of curious where that's going to lead.
Yes, the Teamster, the Dick. Which, by the way, those of you who don't know, the Teamster is based on an old wrestling game with these cards and dice, and they had like pre-labeled characters. So the character of Don Kernodle was Sergeant Slaughter's tag partner, and this is where the Teamster originated. There was a famous match. It was a Rock and Roll Express, I think, against the Russians in a cage match. And I believe Crusher Khrushchev was at ringside, or Ivan Koloff, one of the two. And Don Kernodle was in the corner at ringside, a cage match, but at the corner of the Rock and Roll Express. And Bob Caudle's calling the action. And Bob Caudle has this kind of grandfatherly voice. Brandon Bailey can do a great impersonation of him. Anyways, during the match, the Russians, of course, be sneaky, and they smash Don Kernodle with a chain. But the camera crew misses it. So when they cut back to show Don Kernodle being hurt, he's like standing there going, yeah, like he's just like, and you don't know why. Like, what is he doing? What is going on? And it's actually kind of relevant because if you watch wrestling these days, even the other night, like Rampage, or I think it was a Dynamite, they had like this moment where like Hangman Page, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus all did a moonsault off the turnbuckle corner, right? It was a great moment. They missed it the first time through. They had to like show a replay and they got it, but it's like, man.
I'm pretty sure that was Keith Mitchell back in the 80s, and it's Keith Mitchell now.
Yeah, it just, there's some really, really terrible camera work. I the few times I do watch WWE, I'm always baffled at how many big spots they miss.
You can't miss those spots. It's such a disappointment as a viewer.
I always think, like, what would they have done if, like, Barry Windham's clotheslining Lex Luger and they missed it? Barry, no, what happened? I don't know, but Luger's down. Like, like when Seth Rollins turned on the other members of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm not Seth Rollins. Yeah, Seth Rollins. If they missed the chair shots because they were showing, like, the authority at ringside. Like, man, it's frustrating. It's such a frustrating thing to see. Anyways, getting back to Magic Clash 6 is the big showdown between Vertigo, Styles, and Brogan. We have some breaking news here regarding that matchup. Now, Vertigo, lining up this title match, and I'm going to give spoilers. I don't give a shit. Vertigo defeats Styles and Brogan, and during this match, it is announced, it comes out that Styles tore his ACL. So Alexander J. Styles is going to be on the shelf for possibly a year. So Vertigo is a new champion, and he held true to his word that he was going to win, and he actually injured the champion. So CV Vertigo showing no mercy to his competition.
I wonder what that's going to mean for the IWL World Championship, but I guess we'll get to that later on in the show, maybe.
Yeah.
All I can say is CV Vertigo is a dead man.
Yeah, well, it's a risky thing, when you're that many. It's like, remember Kenny Omega had all those belts and kept getting hurt. It's like, come on, man.
Right.
Next up, we get some Sabretooth here, making comments. Now, I will say this: if you have a chance and you want to get a better picture of what's going on in the BRL, stop and go check out the DZL Bulletin. And it's a lot of trash talk, but it's going to explain what's going on. So just some changes coming to the BRL when it comes to the Holy Family and how they present themselves and what's going on. So Sabretooth talks about, losing the championship. Surprise, spoiler. Flashy Jack defeated Sabretooth to become the new champion, the IWAR World Champion, that is. So while he lost out on, the global title, he brought home the bacon with the IWAR World Championship. So congratulations. Now, Sabretooth did mention he appreciated that Adam Cash knocked on the door and talked to them, because a lot of wrestlers last month were all attacking Sabretooth. And I want to reiterate this. This isn't the WWE. If you just come out and attack the champion, you don't get a title shot. That's always one of my least favorite things. Like, just such if I'm a schmo, I want to go out back, run down the ring, smash the champ over the head with a chair. I want my title shot. How dare you? Okay, you got it.
Coco Beware should have done that shit to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. I was reading a thing about how I guess Natalya and Shayna Baszler are a tag team now. And
I don't know, but I'm in love with her sister, though. So
Shayna Baszler's sister?
No, Natalie Neidhart's sister. Oh my God.
Yes, we know she is.
She's all the way live.
she's easy on the eyes. Next up, we got Tombstone Thomas Steele, not to be confused with Tombstone, who is a different wrestler. But Thomas Steele comes out, and he is challenged to Monster Truck Tanaka. So there we go, laying some groundwork, and you can bet your bottom dollar Monster Truck Tanaka will have something to say back to Tombstone Thomas Steele. We get a promo from Rainbow Pony. And I mentioned before that Turner had some bad blood with Kabuki Dragon. Well, if there's a second one, it's he hates Rainbow Pony too. So we'll see how that goes out. But Rainbow Pony is one of the more interesting, unique stars in the business. So it's looking forward to see what he does. Because I enjoy the tagline, "Taste the Rainbow." It's just I was watching, I think it was a Mexican match, and the old Rikishi spot where we do the button to the corner?
Yeah.
They go to do that, and the lady fell over. It was really sad. It was like the lady doing the butt move, I guess she just fell over. So it looked really, and the other lady stayed in the spot and moved her head back and forth, because I think she didn't realize she fell over, but she felt the thump, and she just put it. It was awful. It was awful. Next, we get the Lords of Pain tag team, Schmidt Dog, David Schmidt, and Captain Pain, Chris Schmidt, and they're going to be raising some hell. And I'm really glad we're getting all these tag teams in. And I know I've been saying, we're going to get this new tag team and BRL roster pages. It's in the works. It's just been a little busy few months with everything going on. So that's coming soon. But what I'll do is I'll do a better job of identifying who the teams are and getting them in the mix. So next we have Kabuki Dragon cutting a promo, and he's talking about his experience and in MMA and how rugged and tough he is, and he's one of the more dangerous competitors around, and he's just as happy to see LePage Turner because he wants to settle some old beefs, because they mixed it up in Japan and never really settled it. So next up we got East West Connection, Jane Red, Matthew Van Slaughter. They are the current global tag champions, and they're one of the more successful tag teams in the IWAR that hasn't won a tag team of the year. Well, this year they are running wild with the championship, so they're really working their way towards that title. We get Owen Bolick, who comes out and he's vowing to win a championship soon. He's relatively new, but he's looking pretty tough. So we have Monster of Mayhem, Donnie Bloodstone, who's had some injury problems, but he's back, and he's again. He's looking to really have a good feud. So if you're looking for a good feud out there, I can't recommend enough going after Donnie Bloodstone, because I want to see him get beat up. Nasty Critter Brian Rotten, a former winner of the Johnny B. Cup, is gunning for a shot at the global champion. So, I think with the new format, it's going to be a lot easier to get those shots. Before it was kind of a little, I don't say it's harder per se, but like the way the process works, it's a little easier to grasp how you go from 0 to 60. We get a repeat trash talk. Then we get an insult from Assassin Beast Devasto, making fun of Brumo Boren. And Assassin Beast Devasto pulled a 500 last cycle, so he's on a hot streak.
Damn.
Yeah, so he's been really hot. It's funny because when Maurice emailed me and he was like, "Hey, can you check and see about his record and see how things he's done?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not a different Devasto. That's the same Devasto." I was all mad because I was like, "Damn it! Now I gotta go back and do the records." But it's also, some beef there. So he's talking about his hatred for Adam Cash, and they got some beef to settle. So it's not quite settled yet between Devasto and Adam Cash. Next up, we get Seth Adams Lee, and he's talking about the big $1 million challenge match and Commissioner Jackson and his chain match against Zydrate. Now, if you don't play in the UWL, the UWL is the Unknown Wrestler League. And the reason I'm talking about that is because Seth Adams Lee is in the Unknown Wrestler League. And most people in the Unknown Wrestler League don't promo. They don't do anything. You just sit there and rack up scrub wins. Seth Adams Lee sends a promo in every cycle. And it's funny because it's like no one else. Well, there's one other guy doing it, but he's just a weird dude. So I just think it's great to see someone doing that. And he weaves his trash talk from the BRL to the UWL and other leagues too. So it's all over the place. Seth Adams Lee, one of my more underrated competitors.
Oh, we love him. We love him.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Big fans. Long time fan. He was a great star in the NWL. He was awesome in the NWL. Chief Bold Gray Fox talks about the IWA World Championship and hoping the IWAR World Six-Man Championship belts mean to him and hoping to convert and get a big shot at the IWAR Championship. So might see Chief Bold Gray Fox step it up. Next up, Jane Red gets the champ back, so she's gunning after Gina Colada. And Veruca Salt says, multiple beefs here. Now, you may not know it if you haven't paid attention in the most recent years, but Jane Red, before Betty Red was the big star, Jane Red was the first real women's superstar in IWAR wrestling. And she took basically a leave from women's wrestling to become a focused tag team wrestler with Matthew Van Slaughter. And they've been together ever since.
He famously lost the hair versus hair match to Luther Alexander, though.
What happened in that match?
Not only did she lose the hair on her head, she lost hair elsewhere.
Was that a fistful of nair?
It was a handful of nair down the front of her trunks.
I tell you, who wears short shorts? God damn. Poor Dickie Boy. Then we have Butthead Dickie Boy, who I believe is Dick Jackson in this scenario. He gave Double R an ultimatum of what he wanted to do, and he tells him to ease up on Double R or else. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Silver Fox feels he's getting lost in the shuffle. Well, get ready, Silver Fox, because you're going to be in the next round of competitive matches. So we're also going to hopefully see the Fox brothers in tag competition. One of the things I want to reiterate to everybody, the way we do the BRL commissioner tag title or the singles titles, all those rankings for the different series, is that you're active. And that includes tag teams and six-man teams. Same thing we go with the pay-per-views, the events. Like for Murano and, the six-man ones, but you have to be active. And if I don't have a score to go with and work off of, it makes it really hard because you're not going to win. So just make sure you're active with your tag teams. Let's see here. Wildfire Betty Red talks about getting revenge on Gina and winning Queen of the Ring again because she's a two-time winner of Queen of the Ring.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and she, we'll talk about that later. Catfish Chucky is waiting in the BRL. He wants to be part of the best of the best. He really wants an IWAR World Championship shot. So we'll see if we can get that to happen or not. Let's see. Let's repeat. Whoop Ass Incorporated. Well, we have promo from the IWAR Women's Wrestler of the Year and IWAR Women's World Champion, Veruca Salt. And she's talking about her championship, her chances to win the ring, the ladies' nightly lottery, like all the things she's done. She's done so much in such a short time to become one of the really strongest competitors in the field. And she's tiny, little person. She's like a little person. So Veruca Salt, I'm going to talk more about this in a second when it comes to the women's thing. Could be one of the big figures in this endeavor when it comes to the Women's Wrestling League. Next up, we got the Hawaiian Heartthrob, which, by the way, I'm going to get those images to you soon, Neil. I promise. Eventually, I'm going to get them. Once I have more free time, I'll get some images to people that I deserve images for. We got the Olympians talking about the mannequins and Jack Ferdinand. Will their feud come to an end at WrestleRama, or was it going to get even worse? I think the Olympians getting out of there with the championship belts is a good thing, because they're really great, promo people. So the question is going to be who's going to face them next. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Sizzling Sherry Summers. She's been beefing with Gina Colada. She's been on the arm candy of Jack Ferdinand. And, of course, we know that she helped him win the world championship over Sabretooth. So you get that leadership going. Then we got the ever-friendly, popular. Oh, so one thing, too. We have soon coming to the league, former OSL world champion Mad Dog Tommy Zulu. So he's coming in soon. Yeah, so that's a big name in the IWA at large. We got Effie O'Shaughnessy and the Carnival Prophets. So they're calling out. She's calling out a number of people, and of course going after Gina Colada. Effie's making a lot of enemies, so I think it's one of those things of like, which one of these enemies catches up to her first, and then we'll see how she responds. But I think after a while, making so many enemies can come back and haunt you. I was use the example of LePage Turner had the entire NWL attack him at one point. So
same thing with Luther. He got beat up by the entire NWL one time
on his way out. Yeah. Poor bastards. Luther, LePage, the L names apparently.
Yeah.
Jello Duckins, my least favorite name, in Carnage Dodge. Jello Duckins sounds like something like what happened last night? She gave me a Jello Duckins.
Sounds like he plays for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, that's actually good. It's here in starting guard, Jello Duckins. Bret Hull Duke, as I mentioned before, they won the IWA six-man title, and it's a hard thing to do, especially in a league with Arrogance here, the Olympians here. The quality competition in the BRL is really, really, really high. So kudos to them. White Claw Outlaws, talking about finishing the business with a Samoan Death Grip, being the IWAR Tag Champs. And, of course, Jim Neidhart talks about, being happy to go through Samoans and beating up their entire family, which would be fun. I'd pay to see him beat up a Samoan woman.
I don't know. They're hard to beat, bro.
Well, that's why I'd pay to see it. It'd be a good match. Wrestling Demons, Drugs, and Alcohol had been calling out R.A. Rude and allegedly tainted his water, so he was having some the rumor is they tainted his water, so he was having some trippy effects. Next up, we got Who the Heck is My Cook? And he's upset that his big, expensive commercial was ruined. The killer promo he wanted everyone to see was ruined. And he beat up a producer who he blames for it. And, it's good. And I think you're going to hear more from whoever the heck my cook is. So that's your BRL trash talk there.
Oh.
Dude. That's it. So I hope Alex will dig that.
I do dig it. I dig it for sure. All right, next up, Independent Wrestling League number 153. So, Alex G, what's going down in the IWL? Well, I guess we have to address since Matt mentioned the IWL World Title situation, and there is no situation. How about that? See, apparently, and we'll elaborate this on in next cycle's Trash Talk, is that Commissioner Don King attempted to strip Alexander J. Styles of the IWL World Heavyweight Championship, and he failed. So it got tied up in court. You know, the Revolution Extreme has a lot of high-priced lawyers led by Clarence Cochran. And they put a couple of injunctions and a couple of restraining orders and such. So Don King will not be able to strip Alexander J. Styles of the IWL World Heavyweight Championship. Furthermore, Revolution Extreme will be able to pick a replacement for his world title match at Soul Survivor against Barry Take-a-Knee Stevens, which won't be announced the night of that show. So Barry Stevens will be taking on a member of Revolution Extreme for the IWL World Heavyweight Championship. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Speaking of Soul Survivor, so we're currently on the road to Soul Survivor. Don't forget, it's a $1 entry fee for this event. Prize being IWA credits. So, for example, if there's 50 competitors in Soul Survivor, the credit prize will be $50 in IWA credit. So, you know, make sure you guys sign up, send your money in, so I get those emails from the IWA. So I make sure I get everyone who wants to join. Make sure that they are all there. So, so please, you know, enter all your people. How about that? What else we got? We do have, I don't know if I said the results for the Young Lions Cup, but I'll mention here is X3M, who is going on to take on Shotgun James Carnage for the vacant Pan Am Championship at the pay-per-view. So, congratulations. Starting with TT, let's start with my stuff, the Revolution Extreme stuff. Luther Alexander takes a trip to Iowa to visit Neo Dragon's mother and her trailer, and hilarity ensues. And kudos to the IWA censors for leaving in the phrase "sperm survivor" in it. So I do appreciate that. Thank you guys, because that's hilarious. So Luther talks with Mrs. Dragon. Actually, her name is Bambi. She is a dancer, quote unquote, at the Sugar Bush Gentlemen's Club in Iowa. So that's good. And she talks about how awful Neo Dragon is and how rotten of a son he is. And, you know, not for nothing, she did not even get an invitation to his wedding that got ruined by the Chameleon. So she's not very happy with Neo, who, you know, went off and made millions of dollars in professional wrestling and left his mother to rot in Iowa in a trailer. So what a scumbag. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Johnny Revolution, who introduces the person who will take the bounty out on Tiamat. He reveals the Spider Lady. So it's going to be a masked woman wrestler who will be taking on Tiamat at Soul Survivor to collect the bounty. You know, I believe it's $1 million in Johnny Bucks, which is Johnny Revolution's own cryptocurrency. So we have a nice picture of Luther Alexander here, claiming that Neo Dragon is the disease and that he's the cure. So that's nice. So we also have a picture of the Spider Lady here. So that's nice. We have a picture of Dixon Ticonderoga. Get well, Dixon. Hopefully we get to see you back. We got the little injury plague in Revolution Extreme right now, but you know, they'll get back on board. We have a picture of Neo Dragon. Welcome to your doom. We have Weekly World News. We see Riley Reynolds' past is revealed. I wonder what she was doing with this gentleman in the picture. And Jack's Justice under investigation again. Most likely for some steroid-induced shenanigans, I would assume. IWL does have a wellness policy, folks. So just keep that in mind. We have Ali Atari, who's not talking about anything interesting. We have Bulk Brogan, who was injured by U.S. Mailed. I like the slideshow. It's one of my favorite things ever. That was a nice touch. We have Barry taking these Stevens. I believe he's talking about his main event match at Soul Survivor, who was against Alexander Styles, but now will be a mystery opponent. We have the Von Snaps, who are currently feuding with the Regulators. They will go at it once again at Soul Survivor. So we look forward to that. I predict the Regulators winning in Big Faction. What is this? A Stevie Vertigo TT here? What is this? What am I looking at here? Looks that way.
I covered that one kind of.
Okay, so
Well, I broke the news that he won the
You
title.
can cover it again though if you want.
boo. I'm just saying. If Steve Vertigo shows his face in the IWL, he ain't making it out of there alive. So that's gonna be a problem moving forward. We have the backstabber here, and it's the backstabber. Please read it for yourselves. No poetry, unfortunately, this time in this cycle. Although the backstabber is up 1-0 in his Grand Prix championship match against Spider Williams. So it's a good possibility that the backstabber may, in fact, win his first championship at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
We have Catfish Rob. Is this IWL related? I'm not. I'm never quite sure.
Yeah, I would not worry.
Seems like his saber. Actually, he makes note of it. He says, "Stop sending your tapes to the IWL television. We're not on their freaking show." So kudos for realizing that. That's awesome. Who we got here? We got Bonnie Banks and Lone Star Redneck. Is this their first TT? I believe it is.
Yeah.
Where's Luke when I need him? God damn it. Luke always does a better job with me covering TT because he can actually read above a third grade level and I cannot. So I do enjoy the Dapper Dandy origin story, which is seems like a scene out of Grease, which I'm a big fan of Grease 2, by the way. I think that is a superior film, the Grease 1, by the way. Has Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Yeah, but, you know.
Grease 1's all about fucking date rape. I don't know what you guys talking about. It's a terrible movie.
It's the Jigsaw Cream. Come on now.
It's true.
A line of the year.
That's ridiculous.
The Jigsaw Cream.
We have Bulk Brogan. He's responding to the Psycho Pyre's Weekly World News. What happened to Broke Bogan? Well, we know what happened. He got beat up by U.S. Mail. But yeah. he's looking like he's coming back on the comeback trail, and he's good. How many IWL
will run him out of the league?
You think so? He won like 8 league championships. It's insane.
Don't matter.
How many guys in the NWL did U.S. Mail run off? It's got to be like 5 or 6.
Oh, I stopped counting. It was so many.
Sounds like a personal problem. We have the Chameleon, who is the world's greatest TT. I always recommend any rookies, any new managers. There's guys who are like, hey, I'm having some trouble with my TT. Read Chameleons and Omega Squadron's TT. They're exactly what we're looking for. So, Chameleon's going after Luther Alexander with baseball bats. Never a good thing. We have the Omega Squadron. We have Christian Warrior, American Patriot, talking about the Demolition Crew now. Christian Warrior and the American Patriot are the current Unified Tag Team Championships, and they will have a match with the Demolition Crew at Soul Survivor. The Amazing Grace is talking about the Dog Pound. Rusty and Jax. Although Rusty and Jax are very huge men, and the Amazing Graces are not that big, I think they got the skills to pay the bills. And, part of Revolution Extreme, so I do predict a victory for the Amazing Grace. In addition to that, the Amazing Grace just announced recently that there will be in the Roppongi street fight along with Luther Alexander and the Regulators. So that's a big spot for them. So it's a good place for them on the pay-per-view. So we're looking forward to that. We got Darren stuff, which I don't ever read because it's long and it's very beautiful. I'm just waiting for a response so he yells at me.
Plus, it's usually written in French.
It is. Can you translate?
Something about poutine, Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, ice hockey. He's going to hit his opponent with a bottle of maple syrup. Yeah, that's about it.
Ridiculous. We have free Quebec talking about the Von Snops, which they're gonna get beat up by the Regulators anyway. But if the Free Quebec want to take some of the scraps from the regulators. They're more than welcome. Don't forget that Freebird Quebec will be challenging the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew for the Freebird Championship at the pay-per-view. We have second generation, or second gen, with Big Ben Jr. Now, the original Big Ben is one of the 10 jobbers that you beat when you go 10-0 in the NWL. So his son is his son is
Short person.
he's a little small. That's why I find the Big Ben Jr. thing hilarious.
Big Ben must have been hanging out with Neo Dragon's mom as well.
It's true. 100%. And then we have Jaco Marco the second. Did I say that correctly? I don't know.
Yes.
No, I didn't. And you have X3M again. Like I said, X3M will get her shot at Shotgun James Carnage for the vacant Pan American Championship at the pay-per-view. And apparently, Freebird gets TT is German translated from French, which is nice. Seems like we have a new avatar for X3M, so that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I wonder if she's going to go after Riley Reynolds or Tiamat in the near future. I think it's going to happen. Or the Spider Lady. The Revolution Extreme Spider Lady. After that, we have the industry. Focus with Riley Reynolds because that's the only wrestler they have currently in there. The rest of them are, I believe, coming shortly. So excited to see that. It's going to be dope. We have the Demolition Crew. Apparently now pro beating up Rosanna. So I like this. You know what's good about this because we're taking a situation here that could have been bad, and through TT we're weaving this in and out. It's actually really nicely done, showing a lot of character development here. So the Demolition Crew, they'll have their shot at the Omega Squadron at the pay-per-view. We have Big Money Graham Chambers who's talking about his match with X3M at the Young Lions Cup. We have the Dog Pound of Jax Justice and Rusty Riggs talking that stuff about the Graces. Again, these guys are big, but the Graces, they might be the most athletic team in the IWL. And then we have Ravishing Rex Chambers, who is not a big fan of Atari. Feels like we cost him the match over at the Young Lions Cup. So,
Yes.
goddamn Atari, he's everywhere. We have Alexander J. Styles with this is a pre-injury Alexander J. Styles. Talking about his match with Bulk Brogan and Stevie Vertigo. Get well soon. We're going to miss you. That title will be waiting for you when you come back because we ain't losing it. So, we have the goddamn Neo Dragon. Neo Dragon, once again, he's hyping up that Roppongi street fight death match at the pay-per-view. I think it might steal the show. It's going to be violent, for sure. Someone might actually die. We're definitely getting deported out of Japan. I think for sure. We have the regulators, the new look regulators here, looking very, once again, donning their is it country or western, or is it country western attire? What do you consider them? They're cowboys. Right? Yeah. I don't see any leather chaps though, which is a problem. Why would a grown man wear leather chaps anyway? Like, what are the actual, like? If I'm wearing chaps, what's the purpose of the chaps? I'm from New York. I don't know.
I mean, if you're not wearing anything underneath, I could see it, but like wearing them with jeans just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like what's the purpose of the chaps? Matt, you have a lot of chap related experience.
Do you know talk about that? I was young. I needed the money.
So where's that guy Ricky Kyle? I believe he's from Texas. He should know. Someone should tell us. Why did Shawn Michaels wear chaps with his wrestling attire? It was weird. Unbelievable. So if anyone in chat knows what the purpose of chaps actually are, please let us know, because I have no freaking idea. Assless chaps at that. Tiamat referring to her future match with the Spider Lady at the pay-per-view. Again, the Spider Lady wants that Johnny Bucks, that's for sure, that crypto cash. We have two new wrestlers. We have Heavy J, which I do have a level of someone must know me because my love for PN News.
Yes.
And we have Boop the Clown with that Doink the Clown avatar, which is fantastic. It gives me a lot of ideas for the future. We have this is more Catfish. Oh, this is the same stuff from the BRL. Looks like. So we're gonna move on from that. We have Atticus Black with his TT. I wonder who he's talking about. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out in the future about who he's referring to in this TT. But fantastic job. It's glorious TT. And we have Killer Cross and Killer Crush, a new tag team, new-ish tag team in the IWL. There's actually going to be the next 4-pack challenge coming up next cycle. Is it next? No, 2 cycles from now. No, next cycle. It is next cycle. I don't know where it is. It's soon.
Right.
Well, here's the thing too, because the 4-pack challenge right now is so lopsided. It's almost like the Wrecking Brawl squad team have like 40 points at this point. Like, so they're so far. Like they're not gonna be able to catch up with them. So they're basically the winners. So they'll probably be challenging for the belts at Wrestle Riot. So then we have a new stable here called Death Leprechaun. I wonder if Big Ben Jr. is in it. They're claiming they're going to be future IWL World Tag Team 6-man champions, perhaps. Because I don't think they won that. Did they win last cycle? No, I don't remember. And that's the TT for the IWL. Wish Luke was here doing this instead of me, but
me too.
Shut up. I haven't done it in a while. What do you want from me? I used to do these all the time, and I don't anymore.
Luke's got more important matters.
Well, yeah, he's saving the free world right now.
Governments
bumping off. What's his name? Putin.
Luke is the Jason Bourne of the IWA.
Yes.
Is he not even listening to the show right now? Because I see him on the chat, but I don't see him on the. Are you listening right now, you son of a bitch? It's fucking ridiculous. He's not doing anything right now. Anyway. So Matt, what do you got for us IWAR wide?
Well, all right. Well, IWAR wide. Let's start with the good news. Stuff I have done. So people were asking for results.
No.
So I'll give you kind of results. So, the IWAR World Championship, 497 to 496, 1 point. Sabretooth lost to Flash Jack Ferdinand.
That was a short reign.
Yeah. So since the IWAR Women's World Championship was supposed to be defended against the IWAR Women Wrestler of the Year, but Veruca Salt was that, so it went to the Rookie of the Year, and it was Shiloh Wallace got the shot, and she was defeated 497 to 492. The White Claw Outlaws defeated Samoan Death Grip to retain the IWAR World Tag Belts. Let's see, Stevie Vertigo defeated Alexander Day Styles and Bulk Brogan. And the 6-man championship, I had a typo, so I had to correct that, so I'll get back to that later. The Queen of the Ring, the way it works is the top half of the scores advance. So advancing are Riley Reynolds, Betty Red, Alligator, Sizzling Sherry Summers, F.A. O'Shaughnessy, Gina Colada, and I made a swap because somebody was not trash talking and somebody else was, so I swapped out Cabrini Green for Wicked Spider Ericophobia. So Ericophobia advanced. So those 8 wrestlers will now compete, and the top 4 will advance. So it'll keep going. And the winner gets an IWAR women's title shot. So we had a typo in the Lethal Lottery, and it should have been Johnny Vegas instead of Lone Star Redneck. I made a mistake there.
Unbelievable.
So the good news Bad news is, the good news is Johnny Vegas gets in the tournament. The bad news is he pulled a 484 and he cost his team the win. So he got in and he cost Kabuki Dragon and Rod Camino the advancing. So Rod Camino might have some words for Johnny Vegas because he cost him that shot. And instead, Country Hammer, Rhett Grady, Hawaiian Heartthrob, and Agent 26 advanced. They will take on Playboy McFerrari, Total Package US Mail, and Owen Bullock in the next round. The other matchup, hold on, I gotta get my freaking computer to work right here.
It's new. I don't understand.
Right. I'm trying to read this right. So, in the other matchup, it is Nightmare Johnny Carnage, Money Driven Mike Sebastian, and Jax McAllister taking on Stevie Vertigo, Who the Heck is Mike Cook, and Luther Alexander. So that's that. Now, remember, the teams go by combined single strategies. And the winning team will challenge the IWAR World Six-Man Championship, but in a new change, they will challenge them in the same rules by which they won the series. So what it means is instead of being like, oh, we're 521 to 521, it's going to be individual strats.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be curveball, baby. So that's, I believe, the lottery, the Murano tournament. We had one team that got left out by accident. I had one team in twice. So I plugged that team into the next round. So there's a couple matches that are triple threat matches. So the next round matchups are Jane Red and Matthew Van Slaughter taking on Playboy McFerrari and Sam Hain. Zydrate and Nivek Largo taking on Hank Henkel and Buddy Donner. We had a tie that was unbreakable between the White Claw Outlaws, Leroy Butterworth, and Winnipeg Wookie. So those two teams both advance, and they face the Mannequins in a triple threat match. We have Mike Zenith and Shane Gloom taking on Warsaw Warrior and Polish Powerhouse. And then in the other bracket, we have Carlos Danger and Ricky Spanish. They advanced over the Von Schnaps, who can never, ever win this tournament, apparently.
Never.
They're facing the Graces and the Saskatchewan Sasquatch and Matthew Porter. And that's a triple threat match. And then we have the other bracket is James Carnage and Jesse Tombstone taking on David Wazalewski and Waz. So that's the next round there. I won't go over all the Johnny B results because there's like 8 gazillion names here. But I will say we had some tiebreakers going to the Battle Royal earnings. So, yeah. That was crazy. So, do you want to talk about the Women's League thing going on? Or?
I mean, we can.
Yeah, so last show I mentioned this concept I was kind of kicking around, and I wasn't really going to share, but people were like, oh, what is it? And I told it, and everyone loved it. So it's going to be a women's version of the Lone Wolf League, where it's one wrestler per player, and it's going to be in gold. It's going to be the 4th IWAR League. So you have the Rookie League, the IWL, the BRL, and then this league. Now, we were kicking around a few different names, and Johnny B wrote back to us, was like, hey, well, how about this for a name? And I really liked his suggestion. And I always say, like, this is still early, so I'm really not attached to anything as far as, like, this has to be this or that has to be that. So, we're looking at probably a month or two. Because I'm busy with everything going on. I still got a lot to write this cycle to finish off. So when it comes to like what we have time to do, so I have one manager who's stepping in to help me co-commission this, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. So this league.
Not me.
Likely, what?
It's not me.
No, you're going. Oh yeah, not you. No, it's not you. It's somebody else. But right now, unofficially, tentatively. We have a total of 21 players agreeing to play in the league. So that's a lot. I was expecting 12. Not all of them are complete firm, yes. Some are kind of sort of flaccid, not really there yet.
What?
We've all been there.
Send over to the gas station. Get some pills.
Yeah, that's right. Stop at the gas station. Dick pills. So what we're going to do, some people have said to me, like, oh, you're going to still have a women's division in like the BRL and IWL. No. We're doing this on a multi-level thing. One is we're making it a very cost-effective league to play in. It'll be $5 for 6 matches and a battle royal entry. Boom. We're still working out a way to hear if they want to do it as that's what everybody gets, as in you can't go further, you can't go higher. I just got a text message from Ryan Patrick trying to hear my phone go off. I have it on silence. Haha. So I get people saying like, oh, I want to be in the BRL. The BRL won't have a women's division. What's going to happen is all the women's stuff is going to move to this new league, which likely, I'm not saying 100%, but it won't be called the IWAR Ladies League. So ILL is going to be out. That's not going to be a thing. We also had a second name, which I loved. We all were like, this is a great name. Luke really loved it too. But then we realized it was kind of being used already, so it wasn't really available. So we're looking at using the Black Widow League, which works in a lot of ways because, female spider and, solo and all that. So we'll have a lot more to it. That's in the early stages. But the foundational league is going to be a $5 league that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on in there, both statistically speaking and creatively speaking. And it'll really be a matter of, getting people in and keeping them in. Like make sure people have so much fun that they're like, oh, this is great. It's a league that's going to, by the way, going to compete for the IWA report hits. So there will be if you have a 501 and you're a regional champion, you might win the national championship for the women. It's gonna be good because that adds. I know, like all 6 leagues. However, there will not be tag team or 6-man titles in this league. It'll just be singles titles, which I think actually helps because if you only have 6 matches you're working with, you got to pick your matches carefully. So, other stuff about the league. It's going to be a hard limit of 1, and those people that don't want to play in it, that's fine. But the things we do in the BRL for the women's division are going to be moved to the BWL or Black Widow League. It'll just be easier, and I don't feel like running 2 women's divisions. The idea is to consolidate everything so we have a really good one-stop shop. And because everyone has one wrestler, there's just going to be so much things we can do with it. And I kept going back to when I was doing the LWL and putting it together, there were things I should have done that I didn't. And this time we can do it and get it right. So if you're wondering that question, the answer is there won't be a women's division in the BRL after this. So other things, we're probably looking at maybe May. It's probably a good one to shoot for, so we'll see. But there are some players that have said, hey, I'm interested. What we're going to do is you can transfer in an active wrestler, women's wrestler, existing. So you get, 1,000 wins or 500 wins or whatever. You can also create a wrestler if you want. So there'll be some fun here. We'll talk more about it in the next show when I actually have more hammered out the other way and I'm kind of going back and forth about some of the ideas. They're very supportive, so it's really cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And part of the nature of the league is by keeping it simple, like $5, is it doesn't add another monstrous league to the gold set of leagues, which is advantageous the other way because they're not worried about oh my God, another league full of stuff. So people might say, well, what if I want to spend, $12 whatever? Maybe we'll do a cycle where we allow it. But for now, it's the idea, keep it simple, keep it fun, and keep it inexpensive. It's an easy additional thing. You're not spending another $20. It's like if you have $15 to spend, you can spend $5 in 3 different leagues. That's you're getting more for your dollar, so to speak. Alex or Aaron, any questions about that or?
No. So it's going to have a full report with the commissioner report and everything?
Yeah, and one thing too is to keep this in mind when we do the IWAR draft in October, they're going to have a chance to draft too.
Oh.
So you're going to have women that come out of the NWL, or maybe they're in the BRL. They stay in the BRL, stay in the IWL. They want to decide they want to go in the league. They can, get drafted. Although it's one league, so it's probably not as big a deal. But we're looking at a lot of things, and I've been talking to one player in particular, and we're putting together some really kind of cool things. It'll be, again, when you only have 20 wrestlers, it's easier to track everything because there's only 20 wrestlers. When you have a league full of like 80 wrestlers, that's really kind of like a daunting task.
Yeah.
But I think
of some of like the big women's names in the IWAR at the moment, like Veruca Salt or Tiamat or Area Gunpowder or Shiloh Wallace. Thinking about seeing all of them in one league is definitely very, very fascinating to me, and it just sounds like it's a recipe for a star-studded league that's going to have a lot of action going on.
Right, and I really feel it's going to be a success because we're going to have so many good players in there, so many good writers, and one of the design elements I'm looking at, and this is not again set in stone yet, but it kind of previews to kind of get an idea what's going on, is to have the regional belts broken into five different air, like there's 5 in one division, if you will, 5 in the other. So 5 might be like from Japan, Mexico, Australia, whatever, and the other 5 are American belts, and then you'll have the TV champion and the league champion, but we'll also have a slot to list the IWAR World Champion. So it's women's champion, that is. So it's just we have a lot going on. This is a lot going on as far as just in general with events and everything. So be patient. We're going to get it up and running. We want to get it right. So we want to make sure we get it out and get it right. So just bear with us that way.
Yeah, man. I dig that. Any more questions in the chat?
That is awesome. Great job. I'll take that as a for me.
Leon's actually going to mention in the GWL report also. So thanks.
Nice. Yeah. Once we get this officially like locked up and it's going to happen, we're going to do the full court press and try to get like players from all over the game to get in. Because right now we're at 21. If we can get to 40, that'll be amazing.
Yeah. What do you know? Does anyone have a number of the for a brand new league? How many managers is the record? Like when you started
to start?
Yeah. Because it's been 10. Like you needed 10 at least for a while, right?
Yeah, I think.
But who had
we had 28 when we started.
Okay.
And that was like, I think it was 28. I got to look at it, find out. But that's a cool thing to know. Like, I really think it's just going to be easier, and I'm trying to set up a couple of storylines that'll help parlay this all and connect it all and moving into this new league and setting it up. And again, it's part of the IWAR, but it's its own separate entity as well. So there it is.
All right, I feel that. Anything else before we make our leave for the day?
Nah, friggin' beat, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that. All right, guys. So we are officially out of time. So for Aaron, for Matt, I'm Alex G.